Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
She is somebody that helps you get the best out of your life, be it through your living space, whether it's your home, whether it's someplace you work at, or your office. And she does everything, all different types of designs, right down to the draperies. But of course, the fully functional aspect of what we're talking about here is the plans, the design in the beginning. Kitchens are a big deal. We're going to talk about kitchens today with Marcia Moore. She's back with us. Welcome. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Good to be back.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. Kitchens are such a focal point in many homes now. Let's say it's time to redo things, but you're not even sure where to start. Maybe you want an open concept kitchen, you have ideas. Uh, what's the starting point for a kitchen?
So most people come to the project with an idea of what they like about kitchens or what they don't like about their kitchen. But where they don't know how to start is, what do you buy first? Because you have to build the room based on certain parameters that you have. You can't just go choose, I love this kitchen faucet, now I'm going to build the room around a faucet. You have to build the room around the base. I have a concept that I use for any room called the design pyramid. And if you think about a pyramid, the base of the pyramid is very broad, it's very big, and the top of the pyramid is very tiny. So whenever you're working in any room, especially kitchens, if you think about the first thing that you need to buy should be the biggest thing in the room. And what's the biggest thing you have in your kitchen is your appliances and your cabinets. Those are the largest items in your kitchen. So what I tell people where to start, they need to start with appliances, because the layout of your kitchen depends on what size appliances you buy. Do you need a regular stove,
Wow.
or do you want a cooktop with wall ovens? Do you have a big Sub-Zero refrigerator or just a regular size refrigerator? So those things need to come first. Once you've decided that, then the next thing is cabinets, because that's the biggest part of a kitchen, is the cabinets. So we choose the layout of the room, figure out the layout of the room based on all the things that you desire in a kitchen. And then we go look for cabinets and find the style and the color of the cabinets you want. And then we build the kitchen from there. So that's the base of your pyramid.
Gotcha. And while we're looking at the pyramid, if we were to take it to the very top of the pyramid, what would be there?
The very top is paint. We talked about that last week. Paint's the
Yes.
last thing you choose. You choose everything else first. But right behind paint would be things like your faucet, the tiny things that go into the room, the cabinet hardware. Once you've chosen everything else, and you can find that cabinet hardware that melds perfectly with everything you've got in the room.
Well, that's something that I learned from you last time we got together, in that the paint is the last thing, because you have so many variables of colors. So many of us think, but we put that at the bottom of the pyramid. I've always wanted, a living room or a kitchen that had a certain green tone to it, and now you're stuck on that paint color. You have to fit the things
Right.
around
I
it.
have to find countertop and tile and everything else that goes with that paint color. That's
Yeah, yeah,
infinitely harder.
totally see that now. Kitchens, very expensive. Probably the
Yeah.
most expensive renovation upgrade in your home. Where should you put more money, and where can you start saving money in redoing your kitchen?
Okay, so I want to say one thing first. For resale value of your house, the best thing you can do on the interior of your house is remodel your kitchen. And that's because it is so expensive and nobody wants to come into a home and have to redo the kitchen. So that's a great place for, if you're not going to do anything else to your home, is redo your kitchen. So where to splurge and where to spend money, that depends on whether you are a chef kind of cook, or whether you are a warm it up in the microwave kind of cook. So some people will spend a lot of money on great appliances because they are true cooks and really enjoy cooking, want that Sub-Zero refrigerator that's going to keep their produce fresh for a lot longer than a regular refrigerator. So if that's what's important to you, that's where you spend your money. If you're not like me, I like to cook, but I don't have a lot of time to cook. So I don't need all that highest end things because I'm not a chef kind of cook. I would rather spend my money on the look of the kitchen, on cabinets that function the way I want them to, or a beautiful countertop. So that's it all depends on who you are, and it's easy to save money on things like the faucets or cabinet hardware, or there are varying levels of countertops. So that would be a way of spending a lot of money or saving a lot of money is on your countertop.
Hmm. That being said, what should we keep in mind when it comes to countertops? Because that's really the first thing you see, the cabinets, the countertops.
Yeah, your countertops is sometimes is a true focal point, and other times it's just there. So there are a lot of different products. Most people want to put in granite or quartz or marble or quartzite. I caution people away from marble because while it's a hard stone, it's the most porous and the softest of the hard stones. So it's very easy to nick the corner of your marble or to scratch it with a knife. It's not kitchen friendly. Where quartz is very durable, has antimicrobial properties so that it keeps clean, and it's almost impervious to stain. That's my go-to because
Hmm.
it works for everybody. Some people want that really, really high-end look of a countertop. Then it's quartzite, which is a natural material, also very hard, and it has some beautiful properties.
Hmm. I can just say I'm looking for a house right now. I'm in between houses, and where I'm living now has, I don't know if we talked about this, black granite. It's on the
Yeah, we
floors
did.
and the countertop.
Yeah,
Oh, it
yeah.
is the bane of my existence. It is, if anything, it makes me clean more because you see it shows
Yeah,
everything,
all the fingerprints.
everything. I peel apart an English muffin in the morning. I just go like
Yep.
this.
Crumbs.
You see
Yeah,
it all. Even
yeah,
the whatever the farina on the English muffin, it's all there on the countertop. Um,
yep.
while we're talking about those surfaces in the house that I sold, the floor had tile made out of. I'm going to try and remember the name. Corian, something. All I can tell you is it was not good for a kitchen, and it was also not durable. It would chip. You drop something, there would be a piece of the tile missing.
Was it a
Corian.
natural stone? Corian is a countertop material. I've never heard of it on a
Then
floor.
okay, then it wasn't that. I think the countertops of Corian, and they were okay, but whatever.
Was the floor a real stone or was it a tile like
They,
ceramic?
there were tiles there. I don't know what.
Or you don't know what the product was?
I don't suggest it. It was so not durable.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Flooring definitely needs to be durable. If you have any kind of trouble with your knees or back, can't stand a long time on hard floors, all the natural stone or ceramic tiles, those kind or porcelain tiles are very hard. So you either need to get a mat or you can go with hardwoods in a kitchen, which is a little more forgiving for your knees and your back. So
Gotcha.
yeah, it
Yeah.
depends on the look.
Yeah, and I will say this, I was blessed that the kitchen was recently redone in this home, and a lot of stuff was redone because they had a small fire. However, they did the most of the home in HD. In HD. You know what that is?
No, I don't.
It's not high definition, it's Home Depot. And
Oh,
and
I
that
should know
and and it's an HD. But
Yeah.
that being said, not the most quality materials, and that's what I'm
Right.
getting at. Even the counters, I'm sorry, the cabinets came from a better quality from Depot, and it was okay, but it's you get what you pay for, and that's where a designer comes into play,
Right.
directing you on where you should spend more and where you should not. How about the layout? Oh, open concept still a thing? If you don't have the space for open concept, suggestions.
So whether it's, yeah, if you need to stay within the footprint of your existing home, it might be open concept or it might be a closed in off kitchen. So that's kind of however we decide to work it. Maybe we might want to knock out a wall and make it more open concept, or you might not want to go that expense. But the layout in particular is critical for cooks. There used to be something called the kitchen triangle, where you had your stove, your refrigerator, and your sink were kind of in a triangle. And that was the go-to for how to design a kitchen. That was more when kitchens were smaller. And it was pretty normal to have a small kitchen. Once kitchens got larger, that triangle kind of goes by the wayside. My perfect kitchen to me has basically two triangles. You have the cook's triangle and the snack triangle. So when you're cooking, you have to have everything close at hand to you, which is your stove and your ovens and your sink and your refrigerator. But you don't want your kids or your guests or whoever in the way when they come into the kitchen and want to warm up something for lunch or grab a drink or make breakfast. So you need a triangle that's the microwave and the refrigerator and the sink. So that's kind of lay it out where the cook has her space and the rest of the people have their own space, so they're not in her way.
So let's say you want to be careful about doing your renovation to your kitchen. You want it to feel fresh, on trend, but not too trendy, but timeless design. And
Mhm.
this is, I'm looking for a house. So I see the different type of kitchens. White was in for a while. Now I understand it's not so much. I've got, where I am now, the black floors
Right.
and the
Countertop.
countertops. Like, how do you change it up, but it's still timeless?
So let me preface this with saying that no matter how hard we try and make something timeless, eventually it's going to go out of style.
Yeah.
That's just a given. But to
And
make
those of you watching and listening with your olive green appliances,
they're
they
back.
will they'll be back. They'll be back.
Yeah. So making something timeless is it just we have to use things that tend to not go out of style. So the really dark and the really light are trendy things in whatever product. Real dark or real light get to be trendy. The middle of the road stays fresh longer. So cabinets that are a medium tone of wood, not real red, not real yellow, not real light, not real dark, will hold for the test of time.
Okay.
Using two different products, like if you have a white kitchen now and you want to get it into the future, make your island a different color. Don't make it white cabinets. You can paint it or have it be some kind of wood tone. You could do a
Hmm.
different countertop on there. So one of the easy ways of keeping a kitchen fresh, especially if you see some kind of trend that you like, red faucets are a thing now. Having a pop of red in every room is a thing now. So buy that red faucet for your kitchen. It's easy to change out a faucet in 5 years when you are sick of a red faucet, or if you've got some, accessories that go with that,
Huh.
you can change those out. But that's a way to use a trend, but not get too trendy.
Wow. I never even thought of that. And the same thing, where if pewter's in, if brass is in, whatever it might be, you can change those things out relatively cheaply, couple of $100. You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
even, if you're a little bit handy, even do it yourself, shut the water off. Yeah, I mean, I never even thought of it that way. What about painting kitchen cabinets? I see that happening more and more. Good idea, bad idea? What do you think?
It's I think it's a great way of freshening up a kitchen if you can't afford to buy all new cabinets and your cabinets are still in decent shape, even if they're not exactly what you want. When you get old cabinets, like I used to be the arch top was popular in a cabinet design, and then everybody went away from that and got more streamlined or shaker kind of cabinet style. So if you can't get rid of those cabinets, you paint them and some of that detail just kind of disappears. And so even if you're painting them white or off white or black, it doesn't matter. It just freshens up the kitchen. The thing you have to be concerned about is finding someone who knows how to paint that well so they're not immediately chipping. And that
Gotcha.
is critical. Don't cheap out on getting cabinets painted.
And I know somebody that was looking into that. It's pricey.
It is pricey, but it's way less than new cabinets.
This is true. This is true. How about the cooking surfaces? I know nothing about that, whether it's induction, we're talking about, electric, gas. Obviously,
Mhm.
that's going to depend on what service you have to your home. But your thoughts on that?
So gas, for a long time, was the be all end all of cooking surfaces. It's easy to turn the heat up or turn the heat off, and immediately it goes away. Um, it's the least energy efficient of all of the different kinds of surfaces because all that gas goes up on the side of your pan and up into the hood and away. So you're heating up your kitchen as much as you're heating up the pot, and you're losing a lot of energy. The most efficient is the induction cooktop. Regular electric is a pain because you can't turn it up and down easily, and things scorch all over because it's the whole surface gets hot. With induction, it's electric, but it works with altering magnets. So the magnets are creating heat, not your surface getting hot. You can fry bacon, take that pot off of the burner, stick your hand right directly where that pot used to be, and not burn your hand, because it's magnets doing the heat, not
Oh,
the pan or not the electric. So you have the same benefit of gas, where you can increase the heat or decrease it immediately. It's an awesome product. That's what I
wow.
highly recommend for it's the most energy efficient too.
And while we're talking about energy efficiency, I'm in the state of New York, and they passed a law. I believe it was at the turn of the beginning of this year that all new buildings within a year or two cannot have natural gas.
Yeah, that's becoming the thing.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
in terms of efficiency and all of that. So yeah, even if you have and furnaces as well, no natural
Yeah.
gas cooking, none of that in
Right.
new buildings. So even if you had it available, the hookup in your neighborhood, and you just had a house built in 2 years from now, it's going to be electric.
Yeah.
What's going on there? Wow. Other thoughts while we're in the kitchen right now, things that we should hit up, we should look at in design.
So, um, hmm, what I like to do in a kitchen is a mix of things. I don't want it to look too contemporary or too traditional. I want to kind of mix those together and make it really interesting and have some kind of fun thing in there. So it's not all white. It's not all black and white. It's not all wood. It can easily get too much wood in the kitchen with all the cabinets and a wood floor. So I really like to change it up and add some kind of spicing with maybe with the kind of backsplash that you put on some kind of interesting tile or that kind of thing, or the kitchen hardware. That's a really interesting way to spice up your kitchen.
Hmm. I saw that out of Italy, recent show there, that they have faucets that are built-in coffee makers. So, on your
Yeah.
countertop, you have your
Hmm.
Keurig, it's sitting over there.
Hmm.
Don't take up that space anymore. Just where your faucet is, there's a thing where you put a special pot in there, put a cup, because the water's coming from there anyway, and it brews your coffee and does all sorts of
Right.
other crazy stuff. Like wild,
Yeah.
what's out there?
Yeah. They have instant hot water that you can get from your faucet. Yeah, right at your sink. They also have one where you can sit a glass upside down on a thing that spews water up into it to wash your glass.
I
Rather
saw
than
that.
Yeah, it's fascinating all the things they have now. One of my favorites, which is not so new, is the push button on the countertop to turn your garbage disposal on and off rather than having a switch on the wall. I love not having anything on the backsplash. I like using the countertop material all the way up as the backsplash. And when you have holes in it for all the outlets, that just ruins the look. So I like to put the outlets up underneath the cabinets where you plug in up underneath your cabinet, and
Hmm.
um, and then use that push button switch so you don't have switches on the wall. Makes for a clean look.
Completely. And also having USB charging ports
Yes.
or yeah, for
Yeah.
your devices built into it.
Yeah. You can easily do that on those strips.
Hmm.
Under cabinet lighting is another thing that's really important. I just yesterday got text from a client of mine we'd recently done there. They built a new house, and she didn't understand why she needed under cabinet lighting, and her husband and I talked her into it, and she texted me, I am so glad I did that under cabinet lighting. Every morning I come in here and that's the only light I need, and I just love it. I can't believe I argued about it so much. So
Yeah. Well, that comes down to the splurge or save money, but that
right.
it gives such a look, whether it's under cabinet or above the cabinet lighting.
Mm-hmm.
But
Or toe kick lighting. That's another one that's really cool.
I recently heard about that and I didn't think of it. I didn't even think of it that you could put that because then it would shine on the floor. In my case, kiss of death with those black granite floors. I'm just
Yeah.
shining light on cat hair and debris and all that down there. Yeah, I would never do that. But there is the under cabinet lighting is such a feeling when you leave it on and you walk in. And again, it nowadays LED, so it's not going to burn a lot of electricity. We're talking like literally a couple of watts.
Yeah.
But when you walk into that room, it is such a warm, cozy feeling when that's the only lights that are on in your kitchen.
And it's also task lighting. It's meant to be task lighting, and it just becomes ambient lighting because of the way it makes the room feel. But when you are, especially when you get older and your eyes don't differentiate between surfaces as easily, having that under cabinet light will help you not cut your finger off when you're chopping something that's the same color as your countertop.
Sure. Sure. How about we didn't talk about refrigerators. Anything on your radar, new developments, anything new and cool there?
We have all kinds of things going on with refrigerators as far as being able to monitor them from your phones. That's true of everything. There's a I can't think of the name of it now. Sub-Zero has awesome refrigerators. They're also extremely expensive, but they keep your produce fresh for a lot longer because they have dual zones for the freezer and the refrigerator. There's a lot to it. I can't even explain it all. But that kind of thing is becoming more popular in other refrigerators where they've gotten a lot better at how it keeps your food fresher, how energy efficient it is, and a lot of features that really make refrigerators a lot nicer now than they used to be.
In the minute or so we have left, what's your advice to somebody considering a kitchen redo? Looking at it, it just seems like such a big undertaking and it's expensive. So you got to blend that. There's, the sticker shock and all of that. You want to do it. Just overall thoughts about it.
My biggest response to that would be hire a designer, because you don't, as a homeowner, you remodel once every 20 years. Maybe you can pick out your furniture for a living room on your own, but when it comes to all the details, all of the thousands of little details that go into a kitchen, that's impossible to do on your own and do it well. So you not only need the contractor who's going to build it for you. Don't rely on them to be your designer. They are not designers. They want to do what functions best, not what's going to look pretty. And maybe you have a kitchen designer, maybe you have a lighting designer, maybe you have, and then you're going to have a plumber and an electrician. People will ask their electricians what kind of lighting to put in. They'll ask their plumbers what kind of plumbing to put in. They are there to put it in. They are not designers. They do not understand the prettiness of things. So you need a designer.
That is
also help you save money.
That's a super great point. It really is. Yeah. Don't ask the electrician about the lighting. It's just not, if you have a question about the hookup of the lighting, yes, but overall.
Yeah, don't ask me that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's a really great point because we think that they would know, but they just install.
I used to have a painter who was colorblind, and people ask their painters what color they should use all the time. Yeah, he wouldn't know. Nor do the other painters. They are there to paint. They are not designers.
Yeah. And to your point, I'm sure he's amazing at cutting in a line next to molding, where the rest of us, we're not going to be doing that. Yeah. So yeah, great tips. Marcia, how do we find you? Somebody's thinking about this, whether it's a kitchen or any other room and just is kind of lost. How do we do that?
So my website is marciamoredesign.com. Marcia spelled Marcia, but even if you forget and spell it SHA, you can still reach me at marciamoredesign.com. And you can, there's phone numbers and a contact sheet on that website.
Fantastic having you on. You have the answers for everything. That's why you're our professional of the year. And you make it fun. You make design fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
It is fun.
Thanks for being here. Looking forward next time we talk.
Welcome. Okay, thanks.
We're coming right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.